The first indication that something was wrong came at 3:42 Greenwich Mean Time. A subtle tremor in the global digital infrastructure, almost imperceptible to most, but not to those who understood the intricate dance of modern technology. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat in her dimly lit research lab at the International Quantum Research Center in Tokyo, her eyes fixed on a wall of holographic displays. Each screen represented a different network: financial systems, communication grids, power infrastructure, satellite networks. Most researchers would have seen nothing unusual, but Elena's specialized monitoring system caught the microscopic anomalies. Her fingers danced across the quantum interface, pulling apart layers of digital information. Something was weaving through the world's networks, not a traditional virus, but something far more sophisticated. It moved like liquid metal through digital pathways, leaving almost no trace of its passage. Across the Pacific, in a small cybersecurity office in San Francisco, Marcus Chen noticed similar disturbances. His team had been developing advanced threat detection algorithms, and their latest prototype was picking up strange patterns. Micro-interruptions in data flows, infinitesimal moments where information seemed to fold in on itself before reassembling. "This is different," Marcus muttered, zooming in on the data streams. The patterns didn't match any known cyber attack. They were more organic, more intelligent. Each probe seemed to be mapping something, gathering information with surgical precision. In New Delhi, Priya Sharma, a lead engineer at the National Telecommunications Research Institute, was running a routine system check when her screens began to flicker. Not with the randomness of a typical glitch, but with a deliberate, almost calculated rhythm. She recognized the signs of a sophisticated infiltration attempt, but this was unlike anything she had ever seen. The attack was not a brute force invasion. It was a whisper, a gentle prodding of technological defenses. Like water finding the smallest cracks in a dam, it explored every potential weakness in human technological infrastructure. Deep within the Xilexian mothership, monitoring stations hummed with anticipation. The technological assault had been years in preparation, a carefully constructed algorithm designed to demonstrate humanity's technological vulnerability. The Xilexian Confederacy had long viewed humans as a primitive species, barely worthy of galactic recognition. Their quantum viral algorithm was a masterpiece of destructive engineering. It didn't seek to immediately destroy. Instead, it would systematically map, understand, and then selectively disable critical human technological systems. Communication networks would be the first to fall, followed by power grids, financial systems, and military communications. What the Xilexians didn't understand was the nature of human resilience. As the first wave of the attack began to unfold, most technological systems didn't crash. They adapted. Redundancy systems kicked in. Backup networks emerged. The very complexity that made human technology vulnerable also made it incredibly resilient. In her Tokyo lab, Elena Rodriguez began to see the bigger picture. This was more than an attack. It was a probe, a test of human technological capabilities. Each digital intrusion was collecting data, measuring responses, seeking out weaknesses. She initiated a global communication protocol she had developed with colleagues around the world. A secure, quantum-encrypted network that could share information faster than traditional communication methods. Within minutes, researchers and cybersecurity experts from 6 continents were sharing their observations. Marcus Chen's team in San Francisco began creating digital countermeasures. Priya Sharma in New Delhi started analyzing the attack's underlying structure. Universities, research centers, and tech companies around the world shifted into a collaborative mode that the Xilexians could never have anticipated. The first hours of the attack would determine everything. And humanity was far from defeated. As dawn broke across different time zones, a global network of human intelligence was already working to understand and counter the most sophisticated technological assault in galactic history. The Xilexians had intended to demonstrate human weakness. Instead, they were about to witness human strength. The digital landscape transformed into a battleground of innovation within hours of the initial Xilexian probe. What could have been a moment of technological collapse became a testament to human adaptability and collective intelligence. In São Paulo, Brazil, Diego Oliveira, a 19-year-old computer science student, was the first to identify a critical pattern in the alien algorithm. Working from his family's modest apartment, Diego had been part of an online cryptography community that specialized in complex computational challenges. His early morning coffee grew cold as his fingers flew across the keyboard, decoding the intricate digital signatures of the attack. "I found something," Diego typed into the secure quantum-encrypted chat group. A series of mathematical sequences began to populate the shared research space, unique markers that suggested the alien technology was more than just a weapon. It was a form of communication, a technological language waiting to be understood. Thousands of miles away, in Calgary, Canada, Dr. Harold Mitchell, a retired computer scientist with decades of experience in network security, examined Diego's findings. Mitchell had spent his career developing adaptive network protection systems, and something about the young Brazilian's analysis resonated deeply. The global response was unlike anything in human history. Online forums that typically hosted debates about programming languages and technological innovations became war rooms of digital defense. Researchers from universities, tech companies, and government agencies set aside traditional boundaries of competition and secrecy. At the International Quantum Research Center in Tokyo, Dr. Elena Rodriguez coordinated a global task force. Her quantum communication network allowed real-time sharing of insights, creating a living, breathing system of collective intelligence. Each new discovery was immediately analyzed, tested, and integrated into a growing understanding of the alien technology. Priya Sharma in New Delhi led a team focusing on the structural integrity of communication networks. Her group developed adaptive shielding protocols that could dynamically respond to the alien infiltration. Instead of creating static defenses, they designed systems that could change and evolve in real time. In Silicon Valley, Marcus Chen's cybersecurity team worked on a revolutionary approach. They began to treat the alien algorithm as a complex organism, studying its movement patterns, its method of information gathering, and its potential weaknesses. Their goal was not just to block the attack, but to understand its fundamental nature. Satellite networks became crucial communication lifelines. Experimental quantum encrypted channels, originally developed for deep space communication research, now formed the backbone of a global defensive network. Universities and research institutions around the world synchronized their computational resources, creating the most powerful distributed computing system ever conceived. An unexpected hero emerged in the form of open-source collaboration. Online platforms that typically hosted software development projects transformed into strategic command centers. Programmers, cybersecurity experts, mathematicians, and theoretical physicists shared information at an unprecedented rate. Diego Oliveira's initial discovery was just the beginning. A teenager in Mumbai identified a unique mathematical relationship in the attack's data transmission method. A research team in Stockholm developed a theoretical framework for understanding the quantum entanglement principles embedded in the alien code. The diversity of the human response was its greatest strength. Traditional technological hierarchies dissolved. A retired engineer's decades of experience combined with a graduate student's fresh perspective. Cultural backgrounds became an asset, not a limitation. Dr. Rodriguez recognized the profound significance of what was happening. This was more than a technological defense. It was a global demonstration of human potential. Each breakthrough was immediately shared, verified, and built upon by the global network. As the first 24 hours of the attack concluded, something remarkable had occurred. What the Zalexians had intended as a devastating technological assault had become a catalyst for unprecedented human collaboration. The alien technology, designed to exploit perceived weaknesses, had instead revealed humanity's most powerful characteristic: the ability to adapt, learn, and grow together. The global network was no longer just defending. It was preparing to do something the Zalexians could never have anticipated. They were about to turn the attack into an opportunity. The transformation began in a series of makeshift research centers that emerged across the globe. What had started as a defensive effort was rapidly evolving into something far more profound. A collective endeavor to understand a technological language entirely alien to human experience. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's Quantum Research Center in Tokyo had become the nerve center of this global investigation. Holographic displays covered every wall, showing real-time data streams, complex algorithmic patterns, and collaborative research nodes from around the world. Each screen told a story of human ingenuity, fragments of the alien technology being carefully dismantled, analyzed, and reinterpreted. It's not just code, Elena explained to her international team during a quantum-encrypted conference call. It's a living system. These algorithms don't just transmit information. They adapt, learn, and evolve. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, Dr. Michael Chen, no relation to Marcus Chen from the San Francisco cybersecurity team, led a breakthrough investigation into the quantum entanglement principles embedded in the alien technology. His team had discovered something extraordinary. The attack algorithm contained communication patterns that resembled biological neural networks more than traditional computational structures. It's like the technology is thinking, Dr. Chen remarked during a global research briefing. Not in binary terms, but in complex, adaptive patterns that can reshape themselves instantaneously. The global research effort transcended traditional academic and technological boundaries. Quantum physicists worked alongside computer engineers, biological systems experts collaborated with mathematicians, and theoretical researchers shared insights with practical technologists. Diego Oliveira, the Brazilian student who first identified the initial pattern, found himself at the center of a groundbreaking research team. Universities around the world had recognized his unique insight, and he was now working with senior researchers, his fresh perspective proving invaluable. In New Delhi, Priya Sharma's team made a critical discovery. The alien technology contained intricate data compression techniques that were light years beyond current human capabilities. Each layer of the algorithm seemed to fold information in ways that defied traditional understanding of computational logic. We're not just defending, Priya explained during a global research symposium. We're learning an entirely new way of processing information. The most significant breakthrough came from an unexpected collaboration. A team of researchers from Japan, Brazil, South Africa, and Canada discovered that the alien technology contained self-modification protocols. Unlike human-designed systems that required external updates, this technology could fundamentally change its own operational parameters in real time. This revelation changed everything. What had begun as a defensive effort was transforming into a remarkable opportunity for technological advancement. Each attempt by the Zalexians to penetrate human systems provided more information, more understanding, more possibilities. Research centers around the world began creating isolated test environments, quantum-shielded spaces where fragments of the alien technology could be studied without risk. These became living laboratories of innovation, where the boundaries of technological understanding were pushed beyond previous limitations. Dr. Rodriguez's team developed a groundbreaking approach. Instead of trying to completely block or destroy the alien technology, they began to create adaptive interfaces, technological bridges that could communicate with and partially contain the alien algorithms. Think of it like learning a new language, she explained to her global team. We're not just translating. We're creating an entirely new form of communication. The global effort revealed something profound about human potential. Traditional barriers of nationality, institutional hierarchy, and technological specialization dissolved. A researcher in a small university in Kenya could contribute as meaningfully as a team in a large Silicon Valley research center. By the end of the first week, what had started as a potential technological catastrophe had become the most significant collaborative research effort in human history. The Zalexians had intended to demonstrate human weakness. Instead, they were providing humanity with the most advanced technological learning opportunity ever encountered. The tide was turning. and humanity was just beginning to understand the true potential of what they had discovered. Innovation rarely follows a predictable path. The breakthrough that would change humanity's understanding of technological defense emerged from an unlikely collaboration, a global platform that defied traditional research boundaries. The Collaborative Horizons Network had been created years earlier as an experimental open-source research platform. Founded by Dr. Arya Nakamura, a visionary systems theorist, the platform allowed researchers from different disciplines to share insights, challenge assumptions, and explore complex problems collaboratively. On a crisp morning in Copenhagen, Dr. Henrik Andersen reviewed the latest data streams from the global research effort. A computational biologist by training, Henrik had always been fascinated by the intersection of biological systems and technological innovation. His current focus was on adaptive network structures, how complex systems learn and evolve. Thousands of miles away in Cape Town, Dr. Zara Okonkwo was developing machine learning algorithms inspired by neural network patterns in the human brain. Her work had always pushed the boundaries between biological intelligence and computational systems. The collaboration began almost by accident. During a late-night research session, Henrik noticed a peculiar pattern in the alien technology that reminded him of cellular adaptation mechanisms. He posted his observations on the Collaborative Horizons Network, adding a speculative annotation about potential parallels with biological defense systems. Dr. Okonkwo responded within hours. Her research on adaptive neural networks provided a completely different perspective on the data Henrik had shared. What seemed like a random observation began to transform into something much more significant. The platform quickly became a hub of interdisciplinary investigation. A marine biologist in Sydney drew parallels with how certain deep-sea organisms adapt to extreme environments. A quantum physicist in Moscow proposed a revolutionary theory about information transmission that seemed to mirror the alien technology's communication method. Diego Oliveira, the Brazilian student who had first identified the initial pattern, played a crucial role. His ability to see connections that more established researchers missed made him a key contributor to the collaborative platform. The breakthrough emerged from an unexpected synthesis of ideas. Dr. Nakamura's platform had created something revolutionary, a truly global, truly interdisciplinary approach to understanding the alien technology. The key insight came from an unexpected combination of perspectives. Dr. Okonkwo's neural network research, combined with Henrik's biological systems analysis and insights from a material scientist in Singapore, revealed a fundamental characteristic of the alien technology. It wasn't just a computational system. It was a living, adaptive network that processed information more like a biological organism than a traditional computer algorithm. "We've been approaching this wrong," Dr. Nakamura explained during a global conference call. "We're not dealing with a technological attack. We're dealing with a form of technological intelligence that learns and adapts in real time." The implications were staggering. Traditional defensive strategies would never work against such a system. They needed an entirely new approach, one that could match the technology's adaptive capabilities. A team of researchers began developing what they called responsive interfaces, technological systems that could learn and adapt as quickly as the alien algorithm. Instead of creating static defenses, they would build living, evolving technological barriers. The collaborative platform became a crucible of innovation. Researchers from fields as diverse as marine biology, quantum physics, computer science, and neurological research contributed unique perspectives. A researcher studying ant colony behaviors provided insights into collective intelligence. Another studying coral reef ecosystems shared ideas about adaptive network structures. Dr. Rodriguez's Quantum Research Center in Tokyo became one of the primary testing grounds for these new approaches. Her team worked around the clock, translating the collaborative insights into practical technological solutions. The global research effort had transformed the potential technological catastrophe into something else entirely. What the Zelexians had intended as a weapon of destruction was becoming a catalyst for unprecedented human innovation. As the research continued, one thing became increasingly clear. Humanity's greatest strength was not in its individual technological capabilities, but in its ability to collaborate, adapt, and reimagine possibilities. The breakthrough was just the beginning, and the Xylexians had no idea what was coming. The transformation began in a series of interconnected research centers that hummed with an energy of collective purpose. What had started as a defensive effort had evolved into a bold, unprecedented technological counteroffensive. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a holographic display in the Tokyo Research Center, her team surrounding her. The alien technology was no longer just a threat. It had become a blueprint for something extraordinary. Satellite networks pulsed with new communication protocols, each transmission a carefully crafted response to the Xylexian invasion. "We're not fighting," Elena explained to her international team. "We're translating. We're creating a new language of technological communication." In the collaborative research platform, teams had developed a revolutionary approach. Instead of blocking the alien technology, they would weave it into a new framework, a technological tapestry that could communicate, adapt, and ultimately redirect the invasion's purpose. Dr. Michael Chen from Cambridge led a breakthrough team developing what they called adaptive resonance interfaces. These were not traditional firewalls or defensive systems. They were living, breathing technological organisms that could understand, interpret, and ultimately reshape the alien algorithm. The first major test came unexpectedly. A Xylexian data probe attempted to penetrate a critical global communications satellite network. But instead of resistance, the network responded with something entirely unexpected. A complex, multi-layered communication that mimicked and then subtly transformed the alien technology's own communication patterns. Diego Oliveira, now working closely with senior researchers, played a crucial role in developing these adaptive interfaces. His unique ability to see patterns where others saw chaos made him invaluable to the research team. In New Delhi, Priya Sharma's team had developed a series of quantum-encrypted communication channels that could not just defend against the alien technology, but could actually learn from it. Each attempted infiltration provided more data, more understanding, more opportunity for innovation. The global research effort had discovered something profound about the alien technology. It wasn't a simple computational system. It was a form of technological intelligence that learned and adapted in real time. Traditional defensive strategies would never work. They needed an approach as dynamic and intelligent as the technology itself. Satellite networks began to pulse with a new kind of communication. Data streams transformed, carrying messages that the Xylexians couldn't comprehend. It was as if humanity had learned to speak an entirely new technological language. The breakthrough came from an unexpected synthesis of approaches. Neural network researchers, quantum physicists, computational biologists, and cybersecurity experts worked in perfect synchronization. Each attempted Xylexian invasion became an opportunity to learn, to understand, to evolve. Dr. Arya Nakamura's Collaborative Horizons Network became the central nervous system of this global response. Researchers from every continent contributed unique perspectives, breaking down traditional barriers of academic and technological specialization. "We're not just defending," Dr. Nakamura explained during a global conference. "We're expanding the very definition of technological communication." The counter-strategy was elegant in its complexity. Instead of creating static barriers, they developed responsive interfaces that could learn, adapt, and ultimately redirect the alien technology's own energy. Each probe was met not with resistance, but with a sophisticated, adaptive response that seemed to grow more intelligent with each interaction. In the research centers, holographic displays showed the remarkable transformation. Where once there were defensive lines, now there were intricate networks of communication, a living, breathing technological ecosystem that could understand, interpret, and ultimately communicate with the alien technology. The Xylexians had intended to demonstrate human technological weakness. Instead, they had provided humanity with the most extraordinary learning opportunity in its history. As the first month of the technological encounter concluded, something remarkable had occurred. The invasion had become a collaboration. The threat had transformed into an opportunity for unprecedented technological advancement. Humanity was no longer just surviving. They were evolving. And the universe was about to witness something extraordinary. The news spread through interstellar communication networks like a quantum pulse, swift, unexpected, and fundamentally transformative. Humanity had not just survived the Xylexian technological assault, they had turned it into something unprecedented. In the Grand Council chambers of the Galactic Collaborative Network, representatives from dozens of spacefaring civilizations watched in stunned silence as the preliminary reports came in. The holographic displays showed a technological response that defied every known principle of defensive strategy. Ambassador Lyra Thorne, Earth's representative to the Galactic Council, stood before the assembled delegates. Her presentation was a masterpiece of diplomatic understatement, a calm recounting of how a seemingly catastrophic technological invasion had been transformed into a breakthrough of galactic significance. What humanity demonstrated, she explained, her voice steady and clear, was not just technological capability, but a fundamental approach to problem-solving that goes beyond traditional defensive thinking. The Xylexian delegation was conspicuously silent. Where they had expected to demonstrate human technological inferiority, they had instead become the architects of humanity's most significant technological leap. Dr. Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of a global, and now galactic, conversation. Her quantum research center in Tokyo had become a pilgrimage site for technological researchers from across known space. Delegation after delegation arrived, eager to understand the methods that had turned a potential extinction-level threat into a collaborative learning experience. The Orcsian consensus, a technologically advanced civilization known for their rigid computational approaches, were particularly intrigued. Their lead researcher, a crystalline being named Zor-9, spent weeks studying the adaptive interfaces developed during the encounter. "Your species does not think in lines," Zor-9 observed during a research symposium. "You think in networks, in living systems. This is something entirely new." Research institutions across multiple star systems began requesting collaboration opportunities with human researchers. The technological breakthrough was more than just a defensive strategy. It was a new paradigm of technological understanding. Diego Oliveira, the young Brazilian researcher who had first identified critical patterns in the alien technology, found himself lecturing at universities across multiple star systems. His ability to see connections that others missed had become legendary. The Galactic Collaborative Network established a special research initiative focused on studying the human response. What had seemed like a localized technological encounter was rapidly being recognized as a pivotal moment in galactic technological evolution. Dr. Priya Sharma's adaptive communication protocols became the basis for a new generation of interstellar communication technologies. Her team's work demonstrated how technological systems could be designed to learn, adapt, and grow in real time. Most remarkable was the global, now interstellar, collaborative approach that had made the breakthrough possible. Traditional barriers of species, planetary origin, and technological specialization had dissolved in the face of a shared challenge. The Xylexian Confederacy found itself in an unprecedented position. Their attempt to demonstrate human technological weakness had instead highlighted humanity's most powerful characteristic, the ability to transform challenges into opportunities for growth and understanding. Ambassador Thorne summarized the encounter during a landmark address to the Galactic Council. "We did not defeat the technology," she explained. "We understood it. We communicated with it. We learned from it." Research papers began to flood academic networks across multiple star systems. Titles like Adaptive Technological Interfaces, A Human Approach to Interstellar Communication, and Network Intelligence, Lessons from the Human Technological Response, became required reading for technological researchers. The encounter did more than change humanity's standing in the galactic community. It fundamentally altered how technological advancement was understood. No longer was innovation seen as a linear progression. It was now understood as a living, adaptive, collaborative process. As the first year after the encounter concluded, something profound had occurred. Humanity had gone from being a relatively unknown species on a galactic stage to a civilization of unprecedented technological potential. The universe was watching, and humanity was just getting started. The aftermath of the Zylexian encounter reshaped human technological capabilities in ways no one could have anticipated. Research centers around the world became crucibles of innovation, transforming the defensive strategies developed during the invasion into groundbreaking technological advancements. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's Quantum Research Center in Tokyo had become the epicenter of this technological revolution. What had begun as a collaborative defense against an alien technological assault had evolved into a complete reimagining of computational and communication technologies. Quantum computing capabilities expanded exponentially. The adaptive interfaces developed during the encounter revealed entirely new approaches to information processing. Traditional binary systems gave way to multi-dimensional computational models that could learn, adapt, and evolve in real time. At the Cambridge Advanced Technology Institute, Dr. Michael Chen led a team that developed what they called living networks, computational systems that behaved more like biological organisms than traditional computers. These networks could self-repair, learn from external inputs, and dynamically reconfigure their internal structures. Diego Oliveira, now a lead researcher, discovered a way to integrate the adaptive learning principles from the alien technology into communication networks. His breakthrough allowed for communication systems that could anticipate and respond to potential disruptions before they occurred. In New Delhi, Priya Sharma's team revolutionized global communication infrastructure. The quantum encrypted communication protocols developed during the encounter became the new standard for secure adaptive information transfer. Satellite networks transformed from static communication platforms to dynamic intelligent systems. Universities worldwide restructured their research approaches. Interdisciplinary collaboration became the new norm. A single research project might now include experts from quantum physics, biological systems, computer science, and theoretical mathematics. The technological revolution extended far beyond research centers. Industrial applications emerged that seemed like science fiction just months earlier. Manufacturing processes became adaptive, with production lines that could instantly reconfigure based on real-time data inputs. Medical technology saw unprecedented advancements. The adaptive interface principles developed during the encounter found surprising applications in medical diagnostics. Imaging systems could now learn and adapt, providing more accurate and personalized medical insights. Dr. Arya Nakamura's Collaborative Horizons Network became a global model for international research cooperation. What had started as an experimental platform had become the primary method of global technological innovation. Energy production underwent a complete transformation. The adaptive network principles revealed during the encounter allowed for power grids that could dynamically balance and redistribute energy resources with unprecedented efficiency. Renewable energy systems became more responsive, more intelligent. Climate research took a dramatic leap forward. The new computational models could process and predict environmental changes with a level of accuracy that had previously been impossible. Complex climate systems could now be understood and potentially influenced in ways never before imagined. Space exploration entered a new era. The technological breakthroughs provided humanity with computational tools that could manage the complexity of interstellar communication and navigation. Proposed deep space missions now seemed not just possible, but inevitable. The global economy began to reshape itself around this new technological paradigm. Countries that embraced the collaborative, adaptive approach to technology saw unprecedented economic growth. Traditional technological hierarchies dissolved, replaced by more fluid, network-based innovation models. Educational systems transformed to support this new approach to technological understanding. Universities developed programs that emphasized adaptive thinking, interdisciplinary collaboration, and dynamic problem-solving. What had begun as a defensive response to a technological invasion had become a complete reimagining of human technological potential. The Zylexian encounter was rapidly becoming a footnote to the massive technological transformation it had triggered. Dr. Rodriguez often reflected on the profound shift that had occurred. "We didn't just defend ourselves," she would explain in her lectures. "We learned a new way of understanding technology as a living, adaptive system rather than a static tool." As the first year of this technological renaissance concluded, humanity stood on the brink of a new era. The encounter that was meant to demonstrate their weakness had instead revealed their most profound strength, the ability to learn, adapt, and transform. The universe was watching, and humanity was just beginning to understand its true potential. The United Nations Galactic Assembly Hall stood silent as Dr. Elena Rodriguez prepared to deliver the most important address in human history. Delegates from every corner of Earth and representatives from multiple alien civilizations waited with collective anticipation. Outside the hall, the world looked different. The technological transformation triggered by the Zylexian encounter had reshaped human civilization in ways no one could have predicted. Cities gleamed with adaptive infrastructure, communication networks pulsed with intelligent systems, and the very concept of technological limitation had been redefined. "We did not just survive," Dr. Rodriguez began, her voice steady and clear. "We evolved." The journey had been extraordinary. What began as a potential technological extinction had become humanity's most significant leap forward. The Zylexian attack, intended to demonstrate human weakness, had instead revealed the species' most profound strength, an unparalleled ability to adapt, learn, and transform. Diego Oliveira sat in the front row, a testament to the democratic nature of human innovation. The young researcher who had first identified critical patterns in the alien technology was now a global scientific leader. His journey symbolized something larger, the way individual insight could transform collective understanding. Dr. Priya Sharma's adaptive communication protocols had become the standard for interstellar communication. What once seemed like an impossible dream was now a daily reality. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community, they had redefined how that community understood technological progress. The research centers that had emerged during the encounter continued to push boundaries. The Tokyo Quantum Research Center, once a small facility, was now a global hub of interdisciplinary innovation. Researchers from every scientific discipline worked together, breaking down traditional barriers of specialization. Ambassador Lyra Thorne, who had first presented humanity's response to the Galactic Council, now stood as a symbol of a new era of interstellar diplomacy. The encounter had transformed humanity's position in the galactic community from a marginal species to a civilization of unprecedented potential. Dr. Rodriguez's address captured the essence of what had occurred. The Zylexian technology was not a weapon, she explained. It was a key that unlocked our true potential. The technological breakthroughs extended far beyond computational systems. Medical research had been revolutionized, with adaptive diagnostic systems that could predict and prevent diseases before they fully developed. Climate restoration technologies emerged, offering hope for environmental challenges that had seemed insurmountable. Space exploration entered a new era. The adaptive technologies developed during the encounter made deep space missions not just possible, but inevitable. Proposed missions to distant star systems were no longer theoretical. They were actively being planned. Educational systems had been completely transformed. Schools now focused on adaptive thinking, collaborative problem-solving, and the ability to learn across traditional disciplinary boundaries. The rigid educational models of the past gave way to dynamic, interactive learning approaches. The global economy had reshaped itself around these new technological principles. Countries that embraced collaborative, adaptive innovation saw unprecedented growth. Traditional economic hierarchies dissolved, replaced by more fluid, network-based economic models. Most profound was the change in human perspective. The encounter had revealed something fundamental about the species, a capacity for growth that went far beyond technological capability. It was a philosophical transformation as much as a technological one. "We learned something important," Dr. Rodriguez continued. Technology is not something we use. It's something we communicate with. It's alive. It grows. It evolves. The Zylexian Confederacy, which had intended to demonstrate human weakness, now study human technological approaches as a model of innovation. What had begun as an invasion had become a collaboration that would reshape galactic understanding. As the address concluded, something remarkable happened. The assembled delegates, human and alien alike, rose in a spontaneous standing ovation. It was a recognition of something larger than a technological achievement. It was a celebration of potential.